In this transaction, we will have a look at repaying a loan. Now remember, the business borrowed money from the bank, and then after a few years it had to pay the loan back, but not just the loan but also with interest. And in this transaction we will look at repaying that loan that we borrowed. Now on the 28th, transferred 6,200 to Kudu Bank as a repayment of a loan, including the interest of $400. Now again we will have our cash book, and since we see the word transferred, we will enter that into the bank column. But this transaction has two transactions involved. It's firstly the repayment of the loan, and the second transaction will be the paying of the interest, just as it states in our transaction on the 28th. So now we can identify 4 accounts, but in both of the two transactions we will have the bank account, and the other 2 accounts will be the repayment of the loan, so it will be loan Kudu Bank, and the other account will be the interest. Now let's do the first transaction, which is the repayment of the loan. So the business's bank account has a balance of 50,000 Namibian dollars. Then the business paid Kudu Bank 5,800 Namibian dollars. Now you may ask, why 5,800? Because the total that was transferred was 6,200 Namibian dollars, and the 5,800 is for the loan. Why? Because the 400 Namibian dollars is for the interest. And if we have a look back at our transaction, it shows that the interest portion is 400, so we need to subtract the 400 from the 6,200, which will give us the 5,800. So after the bank paid Kudu Bank the 5,800 Namibian dollars, the business's bank account decreased to 44,200 Namibian dollars. So the balance of the loan at Kudu Bank was 25,000, but after this payment of 5,800, the balance of the loan at Kudu Bank decreased to 19,200. So our bank decreased because we were paying the loan, and our loan at Kudu Bank also decreased from 25,000 to 19,200, because when we pay a loan, the amount of that loan decreases. Now let's classify the two accounts. We will have bank, and since our bank decreased, we would enter that on the credit side. And the second account we have is loan, and since our loan increased and it's a liability, we would enter that on the debit side. Now let's complete the first transaction. This again will involve the account loan Kudu Bank, and we would credit our cash book with 5,800, which will enter in the bank column. And since we are crediting our cash book, we are going to pay money out, and then we would debit our loan account Kudu Bank with 5,800, and the description will be bank. And that will complete our double entry process. Now let's have a look at the second transaction.